The reason that the Philharmonia began to really invest in digital technology and develop their own digital department came for a few reasons. One of them was the natural inclination interest of our principal conductor, Esa-Pekka Salonen, who is actually very interested in technology, genuinely engages with it, and has been a key creative partner in all of the projects that we've done to date. This is the direction that things are moving, and we have to engage with it. Just pretending that it's going to go away or refusing to engage with it isn't really an option. So I think that having the interest from our managing director to our principal conductor to the genuine goodwill and enthusiasm from our players was absolutely vital, or we wouldn't be able to got to where we are now. The old model of just booking concert tickets and expecting people to turn up is changing. The market is changing, and I think that we're finding it harder to attract younger audiences. And I don't think that's because the experience wouldn't be any more rewarding than it is for anyone else. I think it's just that it's not on people's radar. It's partly social customs, it's partly that there's just a much wider range of things on offer for younger audiences. So Re-Rite was really a really interesting turning point for us because we realised that this was a completely new way of engaging with orchestral music. So in 2012 we actually did something even more ambitious with Salonen, conducting the orchestra again, but a performance of The Planets by Holst. This project was called Universe of Sound. We used 37 cameras. We opened this exhibition at the Science Museum. The concept was still the same. It was about walking inside a giant orchestra. Since then, those two productions, Re-Rite and Universe of Sound, have toured the world, reached over 300,000 people. And that led us to our most crazy and slightly exhausting project, iOrchestra, which completed in July 2015. We actually took the main installations, Re-Rite and Universe of Sound, but took them to the high street of 3 major towns in the UK. So Plymouth, Torbay and Truro. And people would just discover it on their way out of a shopping centre, not where they'd expect to see an orchestra. And some of those communities are the hardest to reach. They won't even come into the town centres of Plymouth. So we wanted to take something that went to them. We converted a trailer, a truck trailer, 40 foot, and called it MusicLab, put lots of digital installations in it, musical instruments that you can hold, learn to play, video tutorials from our players that show you how to hold an instrument, how to play it. And the more interactive you make something and the more you make it child-friendly, to create an installation that 20,000 children had to use and didn't break was incredibly challenging. It took a huge amount of work to put together, but actually it was incredibly rewarding seeing kids turn up, actually engage with it, really enjoy it, and most kind of amazing of all was that they would go and be taken there, on a school trip during the day, which is fine. They don't have any choice. They have to go, but they seem to enjoy it. But then actually at the end of the day, they'd come back and bring their parents back on their way home to show them the truck, which for me was a massive stamp of approval. I do get asked where organisations should start with technology and where I think, how do they start? I think a lot of people find it very overwhelming, especially overstretched arts administrations that are already trying to do 1,000,001 things without enough money. When I speak to colleagues and I talk about what we do, I try and explain how long it's taken us to get to where we are and how we started very small. A lot of the stuff you can do doesn't have to cost the earth. I think if you have if you have access to like one good camera, or even just start with your smartphone, I think one thing that we've really learned is getting engagement from the players, because people want to hear from the heart of your organisation. You've got to find out what it is that people want to hear about. And then it doesn't have to cost the earth. It's not about the technology, it's about how do you find new ways for audiences to connect with what you do. Really big steps for us were to bring in one in-house video person and one in-house web person. And with either of those two moves, for some people they may be too much of an investment, but you could do an enormous amount. And it's taken us over 10 years to get to where we are now.